All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about a new law in Oregon.
Okay.
It's a hate speech law.
Hate speech law.
Hate speech.
I'm looking forward to this. Are you?
Yeah.
Are you? All right.
Yeah.
Are you?
I read it, and I feel like my interpretation of it is a little different.
Well, we can get into
I
that.
feel like
We'll definitely
everything is different with me and you guys.
Well,
I feel it's like the wolf
So-
pack.
Well,
you're
learning.
You're learning.
And that's what's
You
important.
know what? Here's what I don't want you to do.
What?
Don't hate on me.
Oh, we already do. Okay. But,
send it.
so, Quincy,
Yes,
this is your topic
My
because
topic.
you saw something on television.
I did. The other night, what night was it? It must have been a Sunday evening, maybe Saturday evening.
Right?
The 10 Commandments were on ABC Network. The old school 10 Commandments. Well, in between the commercials, I'm living in Portland, Oregon, and pretty soon I see this commercial come on, and this commercial is Stand Against Hate.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. I'm
I mean,
what does it?
you don't want to hate people.
What does it
that's
mean? And
Especially if
do
you
you actually have the commercial, Robert, that you could?
I do.
Okay.
I do have the clip.
I mean, I guess it would fit with the 10 Commandments not to hate.
Well,
I do have the clip.
In Oregon, we're taking a stand against hate crimes.
A stand for inclusion.
For acceptance.
Civility.
Unity.
With a new law, we're taking a stand against bias.
Against bigotry.
Prejudice, homophobia,
Other phobia.
Against violence and intimidation.
Of any kind.
We're taking a stand together.
Together.
For better tracking of data.
And new ways to share it.
more support for survivors,
And more resources for enforcement.
so we can make a real difference.
It's a stand for our future.
So no one.
No one.
No one has to be the victim of a hate crime.
No matter their race,
Religion.
Color.
Gender identity.
Sexual orientation.
Ability.
immigration status,
Or national origin.
and everyone is safe.
Welcome.
Free to be who they are.
Because we're all Oregonians.
And taking a stand.
Is what we do. Report a hate crime, find resources, and learn more about the law at standagainst.hate.oregon.gov.
And you use children to promote that's propaganda.
Oh, it's 100% propaganda.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, hate speech, right?
Right.
Resist. Exactly, yeah. Hate speech. Right?
Right.
So what do you think about that, Matt?
It's tough because I get it. Like, in the sense of... You always do that. Every time I watch
Oh, it's just bait. It's bait. We're just like, ready. Bite the hook. Bite the hook, Matt. Bite the hook.
Here's why it's
reel
like...
that
Push
in.
the button. Hate. Do your hate speech, Matt. Push the button.
Here's why it makes sense.
I'm reporting it.
Here's why it makes sense. Because we don't want to live in a society that constantly hates everybody or that picks and bullies. So what's the difference between bullying and hate speech?
Very little. Bullying is against the law, too.
Right. Which makes sense. Like, why would you want somebody to bully you? Like, I'm sure we've all experienced bullying.
Are you still alive? Are you okay?
Well, of
Have
course.
you been bullied?
Are you all right?
Are you okay? Are you a well-adjusted
I'm
adult?
just asking. You said
Yes, I've been...
You just
I'm fine.
I've been
Are you
bullied,
sure?
too.
No.
Well, you said you've been bullied.
No, of course I'm fine. Like,
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I've been bullied.
I've been
of
bullied.
course. I've been bullied, but
I'm okay.
it's not like it made me stronger or
Well, are you
more
sure?
adaptable.
Are you sure? Kind of immune to it? Like you're okay? It's like sticks and stones break my bones, but
Words
names
do
will never-
hurt.
They hurt you physically? Will you die from words?
Well, you can cause somebody to die from words.
You can't cause someone to die from words, or they can.
I can cause somebody to die.
So
from
you're taking
you
taking responsibility.
can
I want
cause
you
somebody
to
I'm gonna
kill
start
me.
slaughtering.
You can cause somebody to die.
I
from
want
words.
you to
Here's
kill me
why.
right now with words.
No. Listen to what you're
takes-
saying.
I
Kill
said
me.
somebody.
Kill
not,
me, Matt.
Not everybody.
Murder
So
me
for
with
one,
your
Okay,
words.
here's
Okay, help-
how.
yeah.
If you take somebody that is vulnerable, that already has that suicidal ideation.
Stop right there. If you take someone who's vulnerable, did you make them be vulnerable?
No.
Oh,
Is it your
so
fault that they're vulnerable?
Nope.
Oh,
But
Then it's not your
It's your
problem.
fault.
but here's the thing. I might not be responsible for anything leading up to the suicide.
Do they have
But
a sign?
my words were the ones that pushed them over.
Do they have a sign that says, "Hey, I'm suicidal.
No,
Please don't hurt
absolutely
my
not.
feelings"?
No.
Isn't everybody in that case suicidal?
There's potential for suicidal ideations.
No.
What do you mean no?
First of all, who cares?
Wow.
You're suicidal. You're already suicidal. My words or your words or anybody else's words.
Anybody or you
have nothing to do with it.
You're already suicidal before that.
Oh, we're just born suicidal?
That person was already suicidal. Your words had very little to do with it.
Yeah.
If somebody's getting to the point where they're going to jump off a bridge, then you sat there and were like, you're fat. And then they're like, oh, he called me fat. I'm going to go jump off the bridge. No, that doesn't happen. It's already like, hey, I'm going to go jump off a bridge. And that guy happened to call me fat.
But it doesn't work that way.
Okay,
Because
how does it work?
How do you know?
Because I want to hear how does it
here's-
work with you and then the great new law
Well,
Portland.
And not to mention, how many suicidal people get polled? Like, after they committed suicide, do they get polled to go like, yeah, I died because that dude said something mean?
Okay, here, the person jumps off the bridge and they didn't die.
Okay.
Boom. Now you have somebody to talk to.
Do they get polled?
This person shot themselves in the face, and guess what? They didn't die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or slit their wrist. There's a bunch of people that
Those are
tried
just
to
usually
commit
calls
suicide.
for attention.
Oh.
I mean, if they go across the river instead of down the stream. Yeah.
You know, you can still hit that. Whatever. Regardless.
Okay.
So, but the thing is that people legitimately try to commit suicide. And
they blame you because you said something to me.
no, I'm saying
do.
the potential is that my words can affect somebody to the point of committing suicide. Now, granted, my intentions were not to have that person commit suicide, or my intentions were not to, what I said I didn't think was going to cause that. So, with this new law, I don't think I should be held accountable for that. But the question on the table is, can words have a detrimental impact on somebody's life?
Don't care.
Absolutely does.
Don't care.
Why?
Don't care.
Why do you, I hear you the second time?
Because,
why do you not care?
Because we have a thing called the Constitution of the United States, and it's the First Amendment of the Constitution. It's first for a reason. I have the right to say what I want.
Now, I agree with you. And I have the right to say what I want, and I have the right to say it wherever I want. What I don't agree with is seeking out people just to be mean.
But who says that you're doing that? Let's say
I'm talking about
if
if you put yourself in the environment, right? And me and you are talking, or me and Quincy is talking, and I say something that somebody else overhears, and that causes somebody to be like, you know what? Because I heard these people talk about it. No, I want to end my. No, that's crap.
I have a better one. I have a better example. So let's say you are driving home from a trip and you're going, say you're doing a live Facebook video and you misgender somebody and you're calling somebody who is a trans man and you're kept calling them a her or a she all the time. Okay. That is hate speech. That is bullying. You're not intending it to be that way. You're not meaning it to be that way. But the person who you're talking about is offended, and therefore, and you're being hateful with your speech because you are not taking their personal feelings into consideration. That's hate speech. You don't get to choose what your speech is. They do. They're the victim.
They're the victim. So, do you see where this is going?
I feel like you're trying to make something out of nothing.
They're making
something. No. I mean, like, I feel like this opens the door
for your words
a lot of
to be taken away.
Innocent people to be guilty on accident.
It's not even an accident.
Just like self-checkout.
It's not even an accident.
Self-checkout in stores. I'm just saying, it creates an opportunity for mistakes. This law creates opportunities for mistakes. That you interpret something that I said.
No, that's not
right. Let me read you what how it comes out.
It's ridiculous.
Go ahead.
Hate crimes are on the rise, both in Oregon and nationally, and it's up to Oregonians to make sure that everyone is safe in their community. What is a hate and bias incident? Hate and bias incident is any hostile expression, key word there, that may be motivated by another person's race, color.
May be motivated.
Yep, that is very, very obscure terminology there. That may be motivated by another person's race, color, disability, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, or gender identity. The act does not need to be a federal, state, or local crime. That's a key thing there, too.
Yep.
Here's an example. Hate and bias acts can be verbal, physical, or visual. This language and behavior often contributes to or creates an unsafe or unwelcoming environment. Unwelcoming environment. Key words there. Some examples include name-calling, using a racial, ethnic, or other slur to identify someone, or using degrading language, creating racist or derogatory graffiti or drawings, or imitating someone with a disability, or imitating someone's cultural norm or practice.
Okay, making fun of.
Making fun of.
Right.
You make fun of somebody that's hate speech.
So where did hate speech begin at? Let's go there. Where did this thing originate from? Where did it come from? Because now it's like almost taking over the U.S. Where did it come from?
I don't know.
I mean, I never heard of hate speech when I was in high school.
I never heard of hate speech. I heard of bullying. You weren't allowed
I heard
to
of
bully. You got in big trouble for bullying.
I don't remember getting in big trouble for bullying.
No.
I don't. I mean,
You got in trouble for fighting.
I got in trouble for fighting. I remember bullying. Didn't we all pick on the freshmen? Put them in the garbage can, roll them down the hall, whatever. That's bullying.
I met one of my best friends from hazing.
Right. So where did all this stuff become?
I thought I was going to get in trouble.
All this stuff. Where did it come? Where did it come from that became so sensitive and so
where it came
dangerous and so unsafe and so sensitive? I mean,
here's where it came from. It came from kids hurting themselves and when the question was, why did you do that? It came out because this person was making fun of me.
So they were blaming because the millennials and these stupid parents don't want to make their children take responsibility for their own actions. They want to place blame on someone.
How do you blame?
So let's move on to speech then.
Yeah.
Do you believe that speech should be limited? Talk about speech. Should anybody's speech be limited? Now, granted, there's going to be people going, wah, you can't yell fire in a building. And that's their number one and only reasoning behind why hate speech and all this fun stuff is like, real things. But
right, because there should be...
What's going on over there?
I'm tired. There should be rules and regulations on
speech?
What you can and
on
can't
the First
say.
Amendment?
Is there?
I mean, that's a solid point.
Is there?
You do.
If
you yell fire...
Really? Are you sure about this?
If you yell fire and there's not a fire, I think you should.
Okay, well, guess what?
You do go to jail.
Guess what?
Perfect.
Guess what?
Then what's the point?
If there's such thing as hate speech and you should be careful what you say around people, then what about people who are nowadays making it the norm to constantly curse in places of business as employees? They're free just to cuss. They can say GD all the time whenever they want. But if you say anything about Muslims, guess what?
Jail. That's hate speech.
It's hate speech. But yet people are going around Jesus effing Christ, GD, and they're free to say it in workplaces.
But see, that's why we don't have games anymore. Like the kids can't play dodgeball because the weakest kids can't play.
Right. And that's why we can't have boys over here and girls
bully,
there,
bully.
all that type of
Everybody's
stuff.
a bully. Let's go watch 13 Reasons Why.
This is all part of hate speech.
Let's go watch 13 Reasons Why.
This is all part of hate speech. He just had to edit something I said because of what?
Hate speech. Because somebody might interpret it a different way.
Your perception is keen.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with hate speech.
Okay.
You
actually have a problem with it.
Oh. Ooh. Here it comes.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, bring it.
Here's my problem with hate speech.
Come on, Shirley.
Is that it promotes violence.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
I got ready to throw up. Keep going.
Here's how it promotes violence.
Keep going.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Have you seen, obviously you have seen, you've been a part of, matter of fact, Antifa, correct?
We both have been assaulted by Antifa.
Did their hate speech not promote and encourage violence?
No.
No, don't. Trust me. I laugh.
But
we're the ones assaulted. We were the
and
ones being assaulted, though.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It promotes others in the Antifa party to assault people that don't agree with them. looking at it from that
hate
side.
speech. That's not hate speech. They claimed that we would do hate speech by saying that we believe in freedom.
And inadvertently, they would what?
But that's not
Call
hate
you
speech.
fascist. Call you this. Call you that. Is that not hate speech?
Not according to them.
Not according to.
We're talking about the law.
Trust me. Not according to the people who made this law.
Right.
But the people who made this law. But what I'm saying, wouldn't that be hate speech?
No.
It should be.
It should be. But
somebody else called you a fascist. Somebody else called you a Nazi. Would be the same thing as me calling somebody.
But here, now let me get you.
Okay, go ahead.
These people who made this law, what's their definition of fascist and Nazi now?
So fascism is a form of far-right, authoritarian ultranationalism characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of oppression, and strong regimentation of society and the economy, which came to prominence in the early 20th century Europe.
He definitely is
So
a
that,
fascist. Wow.
so
He
that
really
is,
you really are a fascist.
You read super good.
that
Wow.
is fascism.
Good job.
Yeah.
According to Google, not according to the dictionary.
No, that was the same thing.
I feel like I'm really black now.
Yo,
What?
listen.
I used to read books. It's a thing. It's
I've
okay.
never. Go ahead.
But anyway, so that's whatever.
Read an entire book, except there's a few books I have. Why? I'm just gonna watch the movie. That's stupid.
But anyway, but you're talking about how like we pick and choose, but that's what they do.
Okay, so
We actually look at the whole thing and go, well, that's a lie. That's not a real definition.
No, you don't. You
We
pick
do.
and choose what you want to believe.
No, we
about it
don't.
all.
No.
No, we
This
don't.
entire first segment
Oh my
has
God.
been on you picking and choosing what you believe in the law.
No, it wasn't.
Oh my god!
How?
Oh, you guys rewind that and look at it.
It wasn't.
Didn't you
You
just
were
say,
focused
"Al,
on the
read the
law, and
third
we were
one."
talking about the new law of hate speech.
you're right.
You talked about crime. We talked about speech.
I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. Hate speech. We're talking about a law that isn't even made yet.
They're working on
We're
it.
working on it.
Okay, but still hasn't made yet. These are the
But it
problems
will.
that they're facing because it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it makes sense to them. Have you seen people in Portland?
You.
It makes perfect sense to them. If you don't agree with us, get out.
Yeah.
But that's what you're saying.
What?
What?
If you don't agree that everybody should have just free speech, everybody should be on equal planes, get out.
That's free. That's freedom.
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 Yeah.
Right.
Yay, freedom.
Yay. Not a box. Not you have to come here. You're trapped, right?
Right?
So he's advocating.
If
we're
you don't like
advocating
what I have to say,
freedom.
feel free to walk away.
Right. No, I agree with you.
It's freedom.
Right.
So how is he saying the same thing?
Because you're just saying, what were you saying?
Freedom.
No, before that.
Freedom.
Oh.
There
All
should be
about
no
freedom.
such thing as hate speech
Yeah.
because it's free speech. First Amendment to the Constitution of
You're
the United
talking
States
about-
of America.
There should be no classification of free speech or no classification of hate speech.
Correct. Because there's no such thing as hate speech.
So what about propaganda?
What about it?
When you're talking about propaganda and directing and targeting like-minded kids, okay, follow me here. You're targeting like-minded kids because this is who? The white nationalists or the Klan did when they're targeting like-minded kids
Okay.
and putting a bunch of propaganda into their mind because kids are very
Yeah,
susceptible.
bunches, yep.
Susceptible. Okay. And now your free speech is creating this small army of kids that are completely misled.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It is okay.
That's not
Look at all
It is
those people
okay.
that go into churches that keep hearing about this mythical being called God.
Mythical being.
Oh, jeez.
That's the other side of that coin.
Yeah, poke that button.
He is.
That's the other side of that
It
coin.
is that other side.
What's the what?
Well, who are you to say that
Right.
all
That's
these
where-
people
that's where
being
it's going.
indoctrinated to this Jesus guy, like, what's the difference? If you're telling me that, or
It's
if you're
scientifically proven there is Jesus.
Right. But, so he's battling you.
God, man.
Oh,
I'm talking
God.
about God, bro. Jesus of Nazareth, yeah, we all read the documents. I'm talking about God. All these people are sitting there, this cult growing out
That's
there.
not
These
the
people
same thing that we're
dictating,
talking about.
because according to you,
No, we're
according
talking about,
to you, no, man, you're sitting there saying talk about God and
doing.
Jesus. It's
You
all
don't
crap.
understand what you're doing.
You're creating all of these hateful Christians that are going out hating all these gay people and all this other stuff. That's what you're doing. You're creating all these hateful Christians. Shut them down.
I blacked out. What did you say? Here's what I'm talking
What's the
about.
difference between the Klan and a pastor? What's the difference?
There's a huge difference.
What's the difference?
You're creating violence versus not. You don't have
When
groups
was the-
of churches going out and targeting specific races to kill.
Weird, because the Catholic Church spent about 1,000 years doing that, so I don't really know your thing about that.
I know. You didn't say Christian. No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you're right.
I know
Christians spent about 1,000 years going around killing people because they didn't know what they looked like or anything like that. Don't differentiate now. You can't do it because I'm using their argument.
But what I'm saying is you're trying to stretch something that is not there.
Hate speech.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are you not getting? What are you not getting?
I'm torn.
Why?
I'm really torn in the sense of, on one side of the fence, I'm like, yeah, you should be able to say whatever you want, and if you don't like it, leave.
Plain and simple.
You mean freedom?
Wow. Freedom.
No, I get the freedom. Like, I get that.
Okay, so now the other side of the fence is what?
The other side of the fence is, I feel like if somebody is speaking, like if somebody's having a Black Panther rally, and the people
Let's go kill Whitey.
and they go and kill Whitey, I feel like that should be bad. Like,
If somebody goes and kills Whitey, yes, it's called murder.
But just how about stop and leave it outside of that, because you're going into crimes.
Yes.
right?
Which
No, you're
rarely
right.
happens.
You're
You're
going
right.
in this crime. If someone goes and does something, just leave it at the speech.
You're right.
The speech happens a
Oh,
lot.
man,
The
you're
crime
right.
happens very little.
You're right. Because then we go back to, it doesn't matter if you're white, black,
Right.
Asian, or whatever.
Right.
If I hurt you, you hurt me. It should be equal. The
Right.
same.
Mm-hmm. The only speech
That's a
that
good
comes
point.
in ends
So
up
if
being
you
conspiracy.
if you have a group of Klansmen that give a speech, and then
Let it be.
so stop, give speech, stop, and now this group of people go out and commit crimes because they got energized.
Whatever it may be. Whatever.
Right. Energized from this free speech rally.
The guys who gave the speech aren't at fault because those people that got energized still have the right to say, you know what, I'm not going to go be stupid today.
Right.
It's called
Man,
personal
I don't-
responsibility.
I know, but man, even saying that, like, if somebody had, you know what? Let's take
Because we want to
let's take
blame.
race out.
We don't want to take responsibility. That's part of the problem.
Right.
Humans,
Right. No,
us
you're
as
right.
humans don't want to take responsibility, so we have to
You're
find
right.
something to blame, something that made me.
This
go
is
do
why
this.
I did it.
Right.
Right. So if you take race out of it, you have a group of people, regardless of the race, you have a group of people. Energized is a great example. They get energized to go and commit crimes. The person hosting that get together, you don't think should be held accountable
Not
for
one
it.
bit.
No.
How dare you blame somebody else for your own actions? Are you not smart enough to say,
Right.
no, I'm not going to go commit a crime today?
Right. That's a good way of looking at it. How dare you blame somebody else for you hurting that person?
Mm-hmm.